Dawn's.
Oh, Abby.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're live, Janet. We're here.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Look at these cool cards. Janet, you just amaze me.
Well, thank you. This is such a fun
In
technique.
many ways. This is one of the ways that you amaze
Oh, golly.
me.
Thank you, Kelly.
So welcome and happy hump day. And we're glad that you're joining us. And oh, Janet's got her dies here too.
I do.
They look very organized.
Well, thank you. I try. If you could see my craft room most of the time, Kelly, you might be concerned.
You know what, Janet? Whoops. Tomorrow I am going to spend the day at home and I'm going to clean up my mess. I don't even think I can call it a craft room. It just looks like a tornado went through. And everybody says that about their stuff, but my husband tells me that it's dangerous to go in the door and he keeps it shut.
Well, I do try to leave sharp things off the floor because we've had a couple of incidents involving scissors and tweezers on the floor.
Well, and you have cats too that probably like to come in and help you do your crafting.
Yeah, she does help, but I'm more concerned about my husband's feet
in
the night if he walks in there to do something.
Yeah, you don't want him to do that at all.
Yeah.
So everyone, we are lucky today because Janet's here in the house and she's got some amazing cards that are inlay cards.
Inlay cards, yes.
And I love it. I love it.
Yes.
And I want everyone to see them in person. I want to mail one to all of our viewers so they can see how amazing they are in person.
Well, thank you, Kelly. I wish everybody could kind of feel them because they're
I know,
flat.
you do want to touch them. You just want to go like that because they are flat.
They're flat. So now this little bird has popped up, but the heart is flat, and that's called inlay. And we're going to be talking about exactly what that is and how to do it.
And we're going to be showing the Simple Vintage Winter Woods collection from Simple Stories. And that's what Janet used on these cards. And you used this on your cards from last week
I
you were here?
did. Maybe the 10th. It's out on our blog.
It's on our blog. And so she used half of them for those cards and half for these cards.
And I still have all of
still
this
have
left.
a lot left.
I could still make tons of cards.
And sometimes it's hard to stop Janet.
I had to stop, yes.
When she's go, she's like the ever-ready rabbit. She goes and goes and goes.
Well, and I'm kind of a frugal crafter, Kelly. I like to use up all the bits and pieces.
Well, that's good. And I know you send your cards, too. A lot of people make and then don't get around to sending. And I mailed a card this morning, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. And Denise has a comment, and she kind of says it all, Janet. She says, when I try to clean up or organize, I get derailed and start crafting.
That can happen. But what's great is sometimes you discover things you forgot you had.
Right.
When you're cleaning up.
Or vintage things that are back in style. So anyway, that's my plan for tomorrow. And our plan for today is we're going to show some new stuff. And then we're going to jump over and have Janet show us how to make these beautiful inlay cards. So let's come over here, Janet.
All right.
And the first thing that we want to show, it's getting to be Valentine's Day. And we got in the Doodlebug collection pack called Lots of Love. And this is actually, I don't know if I want to call it a rerun or a back for more, a bestseller. But this was a collection from last year. And we reordered it. And just because we love it, we have so many Doodlebug fans, and look at all the cute little pieces and the bird in the mailbox, and that's $17.99, and it's got your stickers and all the papers.
That is so bright and cheerful.
And then we also got the petite print collection to match it.
Oh,
so they have actually gone out and matched their petite prints, so you got your project, everything you need for it right there.
Gosh. If you're not familiar with the petite prints, they are fabulous.
They are really good. They are super good. And then, since we're showing that, I wanted to remind everybody, I think people, Janet, are starting to think about Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I just wanted to remind that we've got Cupid and Company from Echo Park. These are just our collection packs. We have lots and lots of individual papers and stickers and stamps and dies. And then this is Cupid's Sweetheart Cafe from Photoplay. And this is what Teresa has used this, and Penny, they've got that stamp with the box of chocolates.
Yeah.
But I think that truck is a highlight.
Well, did you see, Kelly? There's a truck on this one, too. Trucks are still popular.
Oh, yes, there are. Trucks and a bike.
I love it.
I don't know if trucks will ever go away. I don't know that they will. I hope not, because I really like them.
We love trucks.
And then this is the Simple Stories Heart Eyes, and this is the Essentials kit. So you're going to get the sticker, the paper, you're going to get the page pieces, the journal bits, and I think there's a chipboard sticker in there also. So that's got a lot in it.
This is kind
for
of if you
Valentine's.
want it all.
And then the other Valentine collection is from Cartabella, and it's My Valentine. And this is kind of a watercolor, just really beautiful. And we have reordered this because we did sell out of it, some of the individual papers.
So pretty. Look, Kelly, it's a bicycle
there's
built
another
for two.
bicycle.
But it's a bicycle built for two.
Okay, Janet, I remember growing up here in Ankeny, and we would go up to the gas station, and for I think $2 an hour or something, you could rent a tandem bike or a bicycle built for two, and my friends and I used to do that. It was so fun.
Kidding. Here in Ankeny,
Now I'm not sure I could handle a bike built for two unless I was on the back.
You wouldn't want me on there
if I was
with
on
you.
the back. And then of course we have the solids that go with My Valentine.
And always get the solids. I know I say that all the time, but it just makes such a difference. You don't have to worry about matching cardstock.
Especially if you're shopping from afar.
Right.
Okay,
right.
and giant kudos to Jennifer. She just finished 40 Valentine cards for an assisted living facility. Oh, and she said now with all these papers she wants to make more. But that is so nice,
That's
Jennifer.
wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
What a
it's so
special
sweet.
thing.
And they wanted if we're stocking any Valentine card kits, and we do have a Valentine card kit. And we'll ask Gloria to pick that up for us. So, okay, then back in stock is the Sizzix Luster Wax in gold. And I love the luster wax. It's so easy to use. It's metallic. You just put it on with your finger and rub it on, and no heating or anything. And it goes a long ways, and it kind of smells good too.
It does.
Janet.
I
hate to
this
say
at
I've been
home.
sniffing luster wax, but hey, if you got it, use it, you know.
I have some at home, and it is wonderful. It's easy to work with.
And then Teresa placed an order for us with Stampers Anonymous. And so we've got in a new load of stamps. Some of these you might have seen. The blueprint stamps are one of my all-time favorites. And so we ordered, I don't know what this one is called. It's mini blueprints, 2. So that doesn't really tell us much. But it has like the first part of the year holidays. Easter,
Bunnies,
I guess
Valentine's
it's Easter.
Day.
Yeah, so I'd say that's kind of the first half of the year.
Up through the 4th of July.
And then Spring Shadows is back in stock. Thanks, Gloria. Gloria got us just what we needed.
Oh, thanks.
Spring Shadows is back in stock, so Teresa's been using that, and that's $24.99. And then here's the large size of the blueprints, and that's the Easter one. And I'm going to be watercoloring with these.
I love those.
And the Tim Holtz pencils, or watercolor pencils, so we'll show you that too. And then this is like Teresa's etymology. Took me a while to learn how to spell that.
Glad I don't have to spell it today.
Or say it even, but I used to call it the bug stamp. But
Yep.
Teresa loves this, and she uses the background quite often.
Yeah, and it's a really good one, even if you don't like bugs.
And then the Snarkies. Janet, you're a cat person.
I am a cat person, yeah, and I would vouch for all of these sayings. They're all very accurate.
So the Snarky Cats are back in stock. We had a really large order. Oh, we showed that one. That's a
already
rerun.
did, yeah.
And then here's a background called Mixed Media. It's got 4 different background stamps.
Which is nice if you want to add just a little bit of something something behind your
Yes.
on your card front or panel.
And then we have, this is another blueprint stamp, and it's the small ones, but just Easter.
Oh, cute.
Kind of Easter and spring. So that's kind of a different packaging that we haven't had before.
And I like how they gave you ideas on how to color them as well.
That helps too.
The packaging really helps. And we have more.
And then what's that one called? I'm
This
reading
one's
a message.
called Inquisitive.
Okay, there's Inquisitive. That's another Teresa stamp.
Yeah.
We can tell she placed the order for us. She's used that a lot, and if you've seen it, you might want to get it because
She
I know she'll be
has.
using it some more.
Right.
And this is another Teresa. This is grunged, and she adds these backgrounds just here and there on her projects.
This looks like me when I'm trying to wind up the garden hose. I'm not so good at that. This is an all-time favorite, I think.
That's
isn't it?
one of my favorites. Funny Farm. We just keep reordering
Yeah.
it because if you don't have it, they're just such darn cute little animals, and it's called Funny Farm. So if you want to check it out a little more, you can find it online.
Easy to color, and they look great without
Lisa
color.
said she loves the Snarky Cats, and so that's good. And then this is Field Notes.
I love this.
That's one of those stamps that's got a ton of stuff on it. It would be a challenge even to try to use it all.
Well, you can keep it together. And I think I've seen Teresa
Oh,
do
and do the
that,
background.
and just run your ink pad over it and just stamp the whole thing to get a really neat background.
And while we get the next one, I'll say good morning to Diane is here and Oshra. Oh, it's her. Oshra said it's her boss's birthday, so she's late.
Uh-oh.
And Susie's here. And Susie said she found her cable ring, so that's good. And Christy loves Funny Farm also. She's a Funny Farm fan.
Oh, great.
There's Eccentric.
And this is similar to the other one.
The next couple are just like that
Yeah.
because they have a lot of different things on them. And this one is
Love
nice
it.
to put on your envelopes or just to fill in correspondence. Teresa just picks up little stamps and just fills in spaces on her cards.
I'm so glad she got these. Wow.
And the plaid this was stamped on Teresa's name tag yesterday, if anybody
Oh,
noticed.
perfect plaids.
So, and what is that?
This
Lumberjack.
is called Lumberjack. How fun is that? Boy, I didn't even know
We've
about
got a
these.
lot of stamps. We had a very large order come in.
If you want text, this is a great one.
And I have used that one quite a bit. I like that ledger
Yeah.
script as a nice background.
Maggie always says, you got to have the art behind the art. So when you put a
There
little
we
bit of
go.
something
We
in
got
the
it all figured
background.
out.
Right, and did we already show
I think
field
we
notes?
might have shown field
Yes.
notes.
All
Okay.
right.
And yesterday, if you weren't watching, we just want to show you what's going on in February. Teresa introduced her Me in 23. And Janet, congratulations to you also for making those amazing cards.
Well, thank you.
Teresa and Janet collaborated on this. Teresa wanted to do this project where you document yourself and things you like, things you do every day, things about you. And she's going to be doing that throughout the month of February. Those two 12 by 12 sheets and the prompt sheet are $4.99. And if you want to join us, we would love that. I'm going to do it, Janet. I'm
That's
picking
great,
out my
Kelly.
stuff today.
Well-
And she's going to keep us apprised of where she's at with it.
And at the end of the project, you'll have a nice little keepsake about yourself, which I think is wonderful.
I know. I think that's good. Teresa's really good about documenting herself, and most of us are not. So this is a good opportunity for that.
Kelly, do we want to show the stencils?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the stencils.
Okay, let's
Thank
do
you,
it.
Janet. Okay, so Stampers Anonymous also makes the Tim Holtz stencils. And so those are back in stock also. And I don't know what these are called. They're like numbers.
This is mini stencil 33.
So 33's got those little
stitches, dots.
And those stitch lines are really, those cross stitches are really popular, not just in paper crafting. I see them in home decor and other things.
It's kind of that homespun look. This one is called Mini Stencil 6.
And then that's got your hearts and your Valentine things with the lace.
Love it.
And
These are
then we've got
larger.
the chevron.
This is a layering stencil for $6.99. I've got that one
It
at
doesn't
home.
have a name on it.
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me, it does. I don't have the right glasses
Well,
on.
some things-
This is zigzag, Kelly.
Zigzag. Okay, Janet wasn't prepared for small print today.
I got to get myself.
Well, you got to figure out where they're at
zoomed
too,
in.
where the names are.
And this is peppermint.
Oh, peppermint's a good one.
Yeah, I have this one too. This is a great one.
And this one's been very
I love
popular.
that.
I want to call it Splash.
It
but
is called
It
Splash.
is Splash. Okay.
It looks very modern, contemporary. And I know we've seen someone use this one. Was it? This is called Crest.
Okay, it was recent, Janet. It was
It
recent.
was, and I know we've got pictures
Peggy.
of this.
Was it Peggy?
Could have been. Yeah,
Maybe Peggy. We're not sure.
it's on our blog. I
This
know.
reminds me of a swimming pool
I
floor.
love that. I love it. This is called Mosaic.
And you can go online and go to our stencil category, and all of these are in there. This is another good one because it just makes things look splattered and messy.
It says Grime. It's called Grime.
We've got grime. I think there's a grunged, and that is a like a fence. I don't know if you caught the name of it.
Honeycomb.
Honeycomb, but it's not perfect. It's got broken wires
So it could be chicken wire. It could be honeycomb.
or soccer
Ooh.
net or whatever.
True.
Those are big
I
circles.
love those. Splotches.
And this one's really popular. I have this one.
Halftone. I suppose that's called halftone because it
Because of
sort
the
of
halftone?
fades off.
Well, you had good words
Right.
for it. All I could think of was
Right.
halftone. And then, of course, the classic brick is always
Yeah.
nice to have.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And then this is the shifter, and Teresa showed us shifters recently and in the past.
It's called multi-stripes shifter.
And I don't know what that one's called.
This one's called Plus. I guess that makes sense.
Okay. There was a comment earlier about the Funny Farm stamp, and that out on our YouTube video, Maggie has projects using the Funny Farm. So if you want to learn more about that, head out to YouTube and search on Memory Bound Paper Craft Store.
This is called linen.
Oh, I like that one. I wonder if that's newer because I don't recognize it.
And then for Valentine's Day,
and then we've got the hearts, which are perfect.
This is called hearts.
Okay,
Makes sense.
I love it.
And then I don't think we showed this one. This is the same design as the other one, but smaller. And this is called Mini Stencil Set number 53.
On Tim's releases, he usually comes out with 3 full-size stencils and then 1 mini stencil set, so that we're all happy. We've got the big and the little.
All right, Kelly.
Okay, well, Janet, we showed our Valentines. We got our Stampers Anonymous things that came in, and the stamps and stencils, and I think we're ready.
We're all set?
I think we're ready.
Okay, Kelly. I think we're going to start over here.
Okay.
If we could. And I will show you the cards, and then I'm going to show you actually several ways to make them.
Okay.
But I first want to talk about over here.
Okay, we're going to hop over here.
Hop over here. I have a handout
Janet,
that I will.
you're so amazing. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you. I just think it's nice to kind of summarize, so nobody needs to worry about taking notes or anything. We'll have this up on the blog later on.
So you don't have to take notes because Janet's done it for us.
Just grab your cup of coffee or whatever, and we'll have this up later on. I wanted to talk about what an inlay card is, and let me show you an
Yes,
example.
I think that's a good idea.
Let's start there. An inlay card is where you take the negative and the positive piece that you get when you die cut something, and then you piece them back together to create a smooth surface. So for instance,
So you might not be able to see it on the camera, but this is not, these hearts are flat inside or laid in the front of the card. They're not popped up or attached to the top of the card.
so when you
This is a good
yeah,
example.
so when you die cut, let's say this leaf, you're going to get this piece, and then you're going to get this piece. This is called the negative piece, and this is called the positive piece. So you always get 2 pieces. If you're a die cutter, you know that you've always got 2 pieces. Usually you throw this away, but in inlay, what you'll do is replace this with a die piece cut from another color, and you'll just piece it into the hole like that, just kind of like a puzzle piece, Kelly.
That's a great example, Janet.
So
it is like
fits
a puzzle.
right in there, and you'll know when it goes in the hole. It just sort of pops right in there, nice and snugly. So that's the inlay technique. It's as simple as that. You always have the negative piece, and then you have the positive piece, and then you will need something to glue everything to. So those are kind of the basic steps that you will need. Now, you always want to save your scraps because, Kelly, you can make a second piece from your other negative
flip 'em.
piece and your other positive piece. So just from that easy peasy step, you can make 2 items, which I think is really fun. And I brought along my circle punch too to show
So
you.
you can do it with a punch
You
or
can
a
do
die.
it with a punch, right. So here's a background, a blue background, and I'm just going to punch a circle from that. And then I'm going to punch a second circle from this striped. And
everyone is really loving this idea.
well, great. It's such an easy thing.
It's kind of a, like, oh, why didn't we do that years ago
Well,
type of idea.
What was it? Is it in The Wizard of Oz where the fairy godmother says, "You've always had the power"? We've always had the dice to do this,
That's
but
right.
I think
We've
we
always
just,
had the pieces.
but we just haven't thought to do it. So again, you can just piece the positive into the negative space, and then you've got two different designs that you can use on the front of a card or
Oh
something.
my gosh, that is great.
So that's what we're talking
love
about
it.
here, Kelly.
That
So
was a good little demo to show us what you're doing.
Easy. So on this first card, I used the heart dies, almost said star dies, Kelly, heart dies
I
to
love
create
it
a
when
background.
someone
And I'm going to show you how to do this. So
Okay.
to do this, I used,
Is it the stacklets
it
from Temple?
is the stacked heart
So
dies.
we're back to our shapes. You know, we're doing shapes all month, And here's the package with the stacklets. Janet's looking for her
Oh,
dies.
and I've got one somewhere.
So the Tim Holtz stacklets, they come in
it's
all
over here.
kinds of shapes. Hexagons, ovals, circles, squares, rectangles, hearts, triangles. And the cool thing is you get 5 different sizes and 5 of each size.
So you can really see here, these 2 sets are complete. These 2, I've got the dies out because I'm going to use them this morning. But I love these magnetic sheets, Kelly, by Lawn Fawn. To put them on, they fit beautifully.
And is that an Avery L bag?
It is.
So if you want to get your dies organized, and we just got those back in stock, those, I think they're 5x7 magnetic sheets from Lawn Fawn, and then the Avery L bags, we pretty much keep those in stock all the time.
Well, so that's the first idea. You can use several dies to create a background, and again, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Here, I used the same dies, but I added a second heart die over the top.
So they're inlay underneath.
There's an inlay under there, and then there's a second die that is glued in the center and just curled up. So you see a shadow underneath that's the same color. So you've got those 2 layers going on. So those 3 are inlay.
Very cute. I love that envelope on there.
Oh, thanks. That is postal, and I brought that
That's
along
postal.
too.
And Jody just made a comment that Chris did something like this. She thought maybe last fall.
She very well could have. This is what the die looks like.
So
It's
Postal
a good
was
one.
from chapter 3, is a huge release
Yes.
last fall.
And you can see here, this is the envelope die that I used on this
It's
on
kind
this
of cool
card.
to see all the dies
It's
out
really
on a
fun.
magnetic sheet, Janet.
You know what? I think it helps me to understand how they work together a little bit easier, Kelly.
Well, and you can see what you have too, I
right.
think.
So continuing with our heart theme, Kelly.
Because it is Valentine's.
It is Valentine's Day. Here, I used a heart, but I die cut a leaf into the center of it, and then I inlaid the leaf. So this leaf and the heart are flat, which is kind of a fun effect. And then the things over the top are popped up. So this kind of creates a cool background look, I think.
It does, it does. So you die cut out of your die cut.
Right, yes, I did. Now this one and this one were made with the same die set, and I'm going to show you how to do this as well. So I taped together some nesting dies, like the heart dies that are nesting, that look like this. And then I just swapped in different colors and then just pieced it into this large heart shape. Super easy to do. Did the same thing here on this tag, but this time I extended it off the edge.
I like how it goes off the edge. That's really fun.
And so this is flat.
Unexpected.
Yeah, thank you. So normally, like in my previous life, Kelly, before doing all these inlay cards, I might have just put that heart on there and popped it up. But here I have made an inlay piece and popped up the items that are above it. So it's just a different way of looking at your dies. And let's look at another one. Let's see. Last time I was here, I made a rainbow card, and this is another rainbow card, but it's made with inlay. So I used circle dies to create this. So if you've got a set of circle dies, like
We've got the infinity dies.
Yeah.
Those look like spellbinders.
spellbinders, mine are old and tried and true. And I created the rainbow with half of the die set. So again, I just die cut several rings and swapped in different colors and layered them back in.
Can you get those bags and those magnetic sheets? We have
So-
a question about
Oh,
your
yes.
bags. So Gloria's going to get
Great,
them for us.
thank you.
Very cute. I love the rainbow. I like how you've got hearts going around it. Janet, you're so creative.
Well, thank you, Kelly. We're going to make a rainbow today out of ovals because you
Okay.
can make them out
Oh.
of circles and ovals.
Never thought about an oval
So-
rainbow.
You can also do the inlay technique with other shape dies that you might have, such as the wreath die. This is called a funky wreath. Now, some dies, when you're looking at your dies to see which one you might want to use, some will have these little interior pieces, that when you die cut, you'll just need to pop those back in. So you'll just
perfect.
hang on to those pieces and put them back in, and I'll show you how to do
That
that.
makes it look interesting also because you got the white around them.
It does. And this one, I used the silhouette bird dies, and I layered two dies before cutting the birds out of there. And here you can really see, it helps if you ink around the piece that you're popping back in, and it just kind of helps it stand out a little bit. So this is a fun technique, and I'll show you how to do that as well.
We're going to learn a lot today,
We are.
Janet.
I hope we have enough time for all this, Kelly. This is one of my favorite new dies. It's called the Alphanumeric Bulletin, and it's about 2 inches tall. And a lot of us have been using this, but I think most of us have been popping it up or gluing it down directly to our card. This is actually inlaid in the card.
So both, she's got the border there and the actual die.
Right, and I'm going to show you how that looks and how to put it back into the opening or into the negative space. So I think it's a cool look, and
That has been a really popular alphabet, and we have, I think, 2 left. We have more coming, but it's this one right here from Tim Holtz. Janet said the Alphanumeric Bulletin, and I'm just going to let you know it's $40.99. But you are getting the outline, the inside of the letter, the numbers, and then all the little punctuation marks. And it doesn't seem like you usually get all of that with one font.
it's great. It's a great die set. And
Oh my gosh, Janet.
And this is a word.
That's so fun.
Isn't that fun? So if you have word dies, you want to take a look at which ones might work well for this technique. Here I just used my scraps. Thanks, Gloria. I just pieced together a background, and then I just die cut the word thanks out of it, and then die cut it a second time out of white and popped it into the hole. So take a look at your word dies that you might have and see which ones you could do this technique with. It works really, really well. I will say the simpler shapes are going to be easier to use.
So maybe start out simple, and then if you want to graduate.
Right. I brought over a couple that I thought would be really easy. This one I think would be hard. So I brought this as an example.
It'd be fun to try it.
It would be fun to try, but I think it might be
that's got a lot of little holes.
There's a lot of intricacies on this die. So
Yeah.
I would say this would not be one that you would want to try.
There would be a lot of little
Yeah.
things in there. So
would
I
be-
see what you mean. That would be really difficult.
But these bunnies, look how simple and kind of stylized they
cute.
are.
And
They're
they're cute.
super cute, and I think these would be very easy to use. In fact, I used some bunnies for one of my samples today that I will show you. So of the 2, this would be the easier one. That's all I wanted to say with that. Just look at your dies, see which ones might be worth giving a try. If you've got the birds, they work great. I brought over some other dies that I thought would work great, Kelly. If you've got these big numbers,
That's called countdown.
wouldn't that be great, Kelly, to do, to tape them onto the front of a card front and die cut a bunch of numbers to make a card front?
It would be, or for graduation, or a birthday, for somebody's age would be good.
I think it'd be great. And these would both be
yes.
This is the one that I used. It's called Thanks, Scripty Thanks. And then this one is a nice and simple, if you can read it,
Get
well soon. But it's got very simple, clean edges. I think this would be really easy to use. We've talked about the Alphanumeric Bulletin, and I'll show you how simple that one is to work with. I am going to show you the bunny dies, the bunny stitch dies used with this technique. So if you bought that one,
I love all the
that's a good
ideas,
one.
Janet.
I thought this one would be good too, Kelly, because of the simple designs.
That's called abstract
Yeah.
elements, and I think so too. There's lots. You could even put multiples on the same front, same
Right.
project.
This is the wreath die that I used earlier, and I'll show you how to use that one. And then this is the silhouette
that would be
die.
a good one.
Wouldn't this be
Yes.
great to use for this technique? These are nice and big. You could put them in the background and then pop up your greeting over the top.
Yes, I like that a lot.
So if you've stocked up on dies for our shape theme, just keep those out and give them a try for this particular technique. So ovals,
very fun,
circles,
very fun.
So just play with your dies and see what you can do.
And Janet, there's a question
Yeah.
before we start your demo
Right.
of your Nouveau colors that you
Oh,
picked out.
sure.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people have this collection. It's Winter Woods. We just got restocked on it yesterday, and a lot of things have been retired. So if you love it and you haven't got it, or you want more, be sure and order it sooner than later.
Well, a couple that I use pretty often are Simply White, and then this is my favorite, probably all-time favorite, Neptune. So I think both of those are great. I did not use Pale Gold, but I think it's a
yeah,
great
I think
match.
that's a good one.
And then I found this one this morning, which I think is really beautiful with it. This is called Heritage Rose. And then this one too. And this one is...
That's a vintage drop.
drops.
So it's
Golly.
it's more iridescent, I think.
This is called Gilded Gold. So I think all of these are really pretty colors, Kelly. Those pretty.
Oh, that looks. They
Yeah.
look. Oh my gosh, yes, they look
Yeah.
really good when you put them
I
like
think they're
that.
great. Yeah. So any of those would work really nicely. All right.
And then the other thing that we forgot, Janet. Oh, and let's show this.
Yes.
And then we forgot to show the Valentine card kit. So
Oh,
we'll do that.
right.
Because otherwise, I'm afraid that we will forget
We
at
will
the end of
forget,
our video. Because
exactly.
I know I will.
So I use the Lawn Fawn 5x7 magnetic storage cards. They're super heavy.
They're very heavy, so they're strong.
And you get quite a few for $29.99. I think there are 10 in here. And this is what they look like.
And they actually, the back of them are made if you wanted to stick a coordinating stamp set on the back.
Exactly. So I've got them in the large Stampin' Storage die bags by Avery L.
We had a question on the size, so they're 5.5 by 7 3/8. This is the large, and they come in extra large and I think maybe small or medium. There's 3 sizes.
So what I do when I get my new dies is I take them out of the little plastic pouch that they come in. I do keep the pouch, and then I just lay them all out here, and I keep the packaging and stick it in the
so you
bag.
know what it is.
Right, because sometimes you need to know the exact name or the number of the die. And then I just put it in my die basket. So I love these.
I think a lot of us are hungry for storage ideas.
Right.
And dies, I think, are hard. I think dies and paper. I think paper and dies, but yours look very nice and neat, Janet.
Well, it works really great,
Mine will
Kelly.
not look like this tomorrow after I clean up my
Oh,
room. I just
Kelly.
got to get the floor cleared up.
Kelly, I can't wait to see what you do. It's going to be fun. So yeah, if you're looking for a new storage system, I think this is the way to go. I previously had mine in a notebook, and they were falling out all the time, and now I don't have to worry because
you
they're in a
won't,
bag.
not going to lose anything.
Exactly.
Sure. Wendy Jean cleared it up for me, so thank you. That these come in small, large, and extra large. There are no mediums. So that is the Avery L bags. We do sell a lot of those because I think it's just because they're handy for stamps and a lot ephemera. Teresa puts her 6x8 tablets in the extra large ones, so they're super handy. And then Janet's getting her stuff out, and then I just want to let you know that we do have a Valentine card kit from Simple Stories. It's designed by Simple Stories. It's from their Heart Eyes collection, and it has everything you need. We haven't made one up yet. We should, so everybody could see it. But it has everything you need to make these 8 cards. And then, let's see, it's $27.99 for the 8 cards. And those are designed by Jean Jackna for Simple Stories. I was afraid we would forget that.
That's a really great idea to talk about that because, gosh, that's a beautiful collection.
It is. And we do have a mini album made with Heart Eyes. So if you want to make a mini album, you could do that for sure too.
What I love about that collection, Kelly, is the orange that's been added to it.
It really makes it bright.
It makes a huge difference. Speaking of Avery L bags, I'm using those today to store some of my smaller goodies. So they work really well. Oftentimes what I will do is I just put a piece of cardstock down here in the bag, and it just allows me to use the front of the bag and the back of the bag. So
Well, I think it helps to see your stuff
right,
too.
exactly. So they have multiple uses, Kelly. So I wanted to show everybody how to make this first card.
Okay.
This one using the hearts out of the stacked.
Because that's a lot of hearts out of one
It
card front.
is. So, if you think you don't need these, I'm here to tell you that you
You
really
do?
do. Because at first I thought, oh, I don't need all those hearts. But you can do this kind of thing. If you didn't have multiple heart dies, you wouldn't be able to make this card as easily because I've got several dies taped onto one piece of paper. So this is what I did. I started out and I cut a piece that will fit the front of my card. This is just scrap paper. And then I just played with my design. I just laid dies on the front of it, and then I just taped them in place. Now I've used this a couple times, so the positive pieces are popped out. But what I've done, Kelly, is I've just kept this taped.
Oh, as a template?
And now I can make a whole bunch of cards while it's taped together. So to me, that's efficiency,
Yes,
right?
I think that's a great idea.
So I'm going to make this for you today. So this is from the Pet Shop line, and this is a piece of the meow paper that's cut to the same size as my template.
Because Janet is a cat.
I am a cat
Pet.
person. I
Cat
actually
person.
love dogs too, Kelly, but I just don't
You
have
just
one in
happen
my
to have a
life
cat.
at this moment, but I do love my kitties. So what I'm going to do is place this on here, and I think just to be on the safe side, because this is live TV, Kelly,
Yes.
I'm going to tape it down, and then I'm going to run it through. And just to be sure,
I had a very nice lady come in yesterday that didn't know about die cutting or the Big Shot, and it was really nice to share that with somebody, because a lot of you watching are crafters and experienced, and this was a new person, and she absolutely loved the Big Shot.
well, if you don't have one, it will definitely change your life for the better. So what I've done now is I've got my template, and I've now got a bunch of heart dies
Why, yes, you do.
that came right out of it. So again, this is the negative piece, and this is the positive piece. So if you've got these stacked tile dies in any shape, circles, triangles, any shape at all, they're going to work perfectly for this. So this is what it's going to look like when we put it on our card. Here I think is the surprise, Kelly, because you might think I would put the toilet paper adhesive on the back, but I have not found that that works as well for this technique. Here's the old-fashioned thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to take my dot adhesive.
Oh,
And I'm just
my
gonna
gosh.
cover
I
the
about
whole
had a
front.
cow when you started doing that.
Yeah, I'm just going to cover the whole front. And you know why I'm doing it, Kelly?
Well, I have figured it out now, but
Right.
at first I was like, wait, stop.
What we want to do this for is so that adhesive ends up in those negative spaces too, right? So we've
Yes,
got it on the
did
positive.
you just discover that, Janet?
Well, kind of, yes. I've tried it with the toilet paper adhesive and without, and this is just so much easier, right? Because now I've got some adhesive in the openings too. So this is the negative piece, and I did some off-camera work,
Did you
Kelly.
cut some hearts
Yes.
for us?
So I cut some hearts out of some coordinating paper, and I just used the same sizes, and I'm going to just
And you
pop
just
them
pop
in.
them in the spaces.
And
Oh
since
my
there's
gosh.
already adhesive, I don't have any adhesive on here, on the backs of these. I'm just popping them in. Isn't that cool?
It is very cool.
It's actually-
the hearts are rolling, Janet.
It's actually so fun, Kelly, because the pieces just fit in there like a little puzzle piece. It kind of takes me
Well,
back.
and you know, our 3-year-old grandson is so into puzzles right now.
Oh, yeah.
And my
it's-
dad's doing puzzles, so I got a 3-year-old grandson and an 83-year-old dad, and
Oh
they're
my
both doing
gosh.
puzzles.
and I love puzzles. But this is kind of that same feeling, you know.
It
when that-
is,
when
and you
that
feel
goes
very
in the-
satisfied when you
It's-
put those pieces
It
in,
is
right?
very satisfying. And so that's what I would suggest adhesive-wise. You might think that you want to use this, but it's
So
better
the die
not
cut
to.
and bond isn't maybe for this project.
There is one application that I will show you in just a little bit where I do think it's important to use it. So I just brought a couple things just to finish this card because I want you to see how easy it is to make a fun little background like this.
Well, Peggy says it's a wowzer.
It's-
Well, this might be one of our wabooms from.
Well, I tell you what, Kelly, I've done this technique in the past, but it's been a while since I've thought of it. And it's just one of those things that's so easy. You kind of,
Well, we're going to have to look up to see what Chris did last fall. We'll have to ask her when she's back
Right.
tomorrow.
yeah, if someone wants to search on our blog, you could search under Chris and see if anything comes up. I'm not remembering it, but things are a little bit of a blur to me
Well, we have a
sometimes,
lot to
Kelly.
remember.
So now we've got the greeting, which is popped up, and the little kitty, which is popped up. over the top of the inlay background. And I've got all of these hearts
She's got extra hearts.
that I would just save for another card. In fact,
Are you going to put them in your envelope?
Yeah, I'll just put them in my envelope. I'll just run this through another paper, and look, I've got pieces already cut.
Well, it turned out really cute.
Isn't that fun?
It's
so
fun,
easy,
and
you
it looks
guys.
so easy, and it doesn't really take a lot of product.
No, not at all. So I'm going to just tuck this in here, and I've got a card ready to do. All the makings of another card. So we'll set that over here.
And the quote on it said, "Cats are my favorite people."
Which is very true and accurate.
People love it, Janet. So, okay, so here's the same. I want to we'll have to take a picture of this for the blog. So here's the same design. Let me get it over here where it's cleaner. Here's the same design, but one is kind of whimsical and one is a little more elegant. And speaking of elegant and You're My Person, we never mentioned your Galentine.
Oh, we didn't, Kelly.
We didn't mention this. Teresa, I think we showed it with Teresa one day, but Janet designed Galentine wishes that are verbiage for the insides and the outside of your cards. And we didn't show it earlier, but these you can easily get, and you can just cut them out and ink them. And she's got things for the front of your card and things for the outside or inside of your card. And it's all set. And are those $2.99, Janet? I'm not even sure how much they are.
They are, Kelly. And I did look up, Galentine's Day is celebrated on the 13th of February.
Is it from the Parks and Rec
It is.
show? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't.
So it's the 13th, but I probably would do it the 14th or whatever. It's for all of our friends that aren't, maybe we don't want to send a lovey-dovey, kissing type thing to them.
Well, it was new to me, Kelly. I kind of had to think to look it up because I thought, boy, did I miss a holiday?
I did miss a holiday.
Way?
I think it was new to a lot of people
Yeah.
because we had a lot of comments yesterday from people about, like, what is this?
And maybe if you don't watch Parks and Rec, you wouldn't have known
and
that.
I have not watched it.
I've
not
not
heard
really
of it, but
either.
I've not watched it.
So for this example, Kelly, I want to show everyone how if you've got a large die, you can cut a shape within a shape. So you can make an inlay card that is a shape within a shape. So for this example, we're going to cut a large heart out of our background, and then we're going to add an XO in the middle of it.
I
which
love
is
that.
kind of a fun thing to do. So to start, I wanted to show you how this would look to start. I've got the big heart that came out of my heart die set.
And we have the Infinity. We have
Yes.
a Physics, and we also have a Hero Arts. Hearts are nice basics. Janet, remind me, we have a blog post where we did all kinds of Valentine decorations with heart dies.
We did.
Last year,
Was that
so we'll have to
last
pull
year?
that out. I think it was last year.
Yeah, I think so. Where you did the hanging
yeah, we
decorations.
did, and those big dies work perfect for that.
Yeah, so here I chose, I think this is the second to the biggest one. And what I want to do, my goal is to put this on here and cut out a partial heart so that I can then add in the X and the O into the middle of it. So the important
here we go.
Yeah, the important
Buckle up, everybody.
well, the important consideration is you just want to make sure that you've that it fits, that you've got
And
enough
that you
space.
put your X in front of your
Right.
O.
Yes, because that's upside down. Right. That would say ox.
So you're
right?
looking at it upside down, and
Right.
we're looking at it right side up, which makes
Right.
it easier. Okay, so we're just cutting right off the edge, and that won't hurt anything, will it?
Nope, not at all. So what we're going to do is just cut a hole out of the side of this, like so. So now we've got that piece.
And this is a card front that we're
This is
doing,
going to be
Janet?
a card front, yeah.
Okay.
So I know it doesn't look like much right now,
No,
Kelly.
it doesn't. It looks like something I would throw away.
You are not impressed. But here's one thing that I wanted to show everyone. This is what I want the card front to look like eventually. This is the piece that I'm going to pop
now
in.
that's amazing.
So this is the negative piece. This is a positive piece cut from another piece of paper. So this is the same size, fits in the hole. But what I want to do, just to fancy this up, Kelly, is
So we're going another step.
yeah, I want to add a stitched die border around the whole thing. So what I'm going to do in order to get that die along the side of the
you're
heart,
putting it back in.
I'm going to put it together first, and then I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine so that I get that stitching through the heart too, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Kelly?
Yes, it does. It makes sense. I like it.
So,
It's a good tip.
Yeah, so I've got it like this.
And while you're cutting that, so you're going to do that right now.
I'm going to do it right now.
Janet, while you're working on that, getting it set up, there's a question about whether or not you have made inside greetings for birthday cards. And I think you have, haven't you?
Oh, golly,
Kinda
I'm
like
sure I
this.
have at some point.
We just have to find them.
You know, if you go out to our website and search Janet,
Yes.
I
If you
feel
search on
kind
Janet, all her stuff will come
I
up on
feel kind of
memorybound.com.
silly saying that, Kelly, but
It's true. Okay, and Jody is so on the ball, Janet. She said Chris's demo was August 18th, and she said it wasn't exactly the same, just similar.
okay, great. Thank you for looking that up.
And welcome Dawn. She's late to the party, but she's here. Hey, if you make it to the party early, late, whatever, you're good.
That
And
is
Janet,
fabulous.
just so you know, Dawn, Janet is doing what she's calling inlay cards, which this looks like on the camera maybe it's popped up, but the heart is actually set inside of the background. It's very tricky.
It is. It's tricky. It's not tricky, but it looks tricky. How about that?
Well, that's true. That's what we like. We like things that look
Look like
over
you
the
spent
top.
all day, but you really didn't. And I'm being extra careful when I
And we
take
will
this
have
washi
pictures
tape.
of all of this on the blog.
Yes,
We had a
yes.
question earlier.
Absolutely. So eventually this is going to go on the card like this, and this is going to go on the card like this. And I have stitching that's
maybe I can zoom in.
continuous.
There you can
Boy,
see
it's
it.
kind of hard to see, but it runs all the way up here. So now we've got a finished edge around here, and I think that just looks so great. So what we need to do now is
Oh, now we got to do this.
we need to cut out the X and the O out of the center here. And I have left in,
So you've already cut it.
yeah, well, I left in the colored ones so that you can see how it is to pull these pieces out.
okay.
Now, these pieces are pink.
So she's die cut, and you can see that little skinny border that
Yep.
comes out.
And then this piece is pink.
And believe it or not, Darlene, well, Lori is on top of things. And she's found some birthday sentiments, and so did
wow.
Darlene.
You guys are great.
I know.
So
Okay,
I
I
am
better pay
pu-
attention. I'm reading comments.
I am pulling out the dies that I had previously cut, and the reason I left them in here is so that you can see that skinny
I
little
think
border.
that's nice because we see the die, but we don't always understand how it works.
Right, right.
Especially if you haven't seen it in person.
And this is a little fiddly, I know, to look at on camera, but
So we like it. We love it, Janet.
when you cut this out, for some letters, there's going to be like an interior piece, like this O. It's got a tiny little border on the inside, and then it's got,
So we need to keep track
you
of
want
that.
to keep all of those. So look at me, I'm trying to be really organized, Kelly, which doesn't always happen. So I've got
You're so
an
organized.
XO and an XO. Okay, so I've got all of these pieces. All right, so now my dies are clear, and I'm ready to cut the holes out of my heart, because I have the
So
positive
this
pieces.
is a double inlay.
Yes.
It's a double inlay,
It's
everybody.
an inlay within an inlay.
Hold on to your hats. Here we go.
Right. So what I want to do first is tape this down so it doesn't move on me as I run it through. So what I've done is I've just taped down XO. It doesn't say ox, right?
Right, yeah, you got it right.
Okay. And I'm just going to run this through.
While you're running that, Wendy Jean says when she does inlay, she likes to use foam tapes under the sentiment so it comes.
Oh, definitely. For sure. So what I want to do is be very careful.
It's reminding me of those cards that Diana did quite a few years ago. What were they? Eclipse. Do you remember the Eclipse cards? But,
sure.
But you cut the letters out of the same paper and then popped up the letters, if I remember it. We need to bring that. We need to bring that back.
Yeah. Okay.
I think people really enjoyed seeing all of these pieces of the letters here, Janet.
Well, I think
there's a couple of comments about how to see what they really look like and how they cut.
I think it's important to know that, because sometimes we overlook that step, and people don't really know exactly how the die works.
And then we have a question about your cards that I'll hop over here while you're doing that. And the answer to the question is yes, that a lot of these little dots are Nouveau drops. Now I think on this one she did use the enamel dots from the Winter Woods collection, and they do have enamel dots, which are beautiful. And then on this one, then we're looking at the Nouveau drops. So
right.
She's got a little bit of both. Janet's got it all going on there.
Right. So for this card, this background does not go all over the card
so
front.
You've got to put your adhesive on the back.
Right. So I just flipped it over and I put my adhesive on the back. And this background is going to be centered on the front of my card. And now I've got the heart, which I cut out the X
cut
and
out
O.
also.
And again, it doesn't look very impressive right now, but hopefully it will.
It's going to be.
Hopefully it will be. So I'm putting adhesive on the back of this. And I'm just going to pop this heart in the hole.
I think we're all anxious to see if you're going to, well, I guess you have to, you could use just the borders, or you could use, and leave it white on the inside. What are you going to do, Janet?
We'll decide. You know what? Mine is crooked, but that's okay. We're just doing it this way, Kelly. I got it a little bit crooked.
Oh, when you did your heart?
When I die cut the letters, I didn't have them completely straight.
Oh, okay.
But we're just continuing with it,
That's
Kelly.
Okay.
This is real live TV. So what we want to do now is I'm going to put some adhesive. Actually, no, excuse me. I'm not going to put adhesive in here because I have put adhesive on the back of here.
So when she cut her letter, she put the die cut and bond on the back of her letter, on the back of her paper.
Right.
And then die cut them, and then they become a sticker, and you just peel off the backing.
So for this application, I would say definitely you want to put the toilet paper adhesive on the back.
On those skinny ones.
Yeah.
Teresa and Katie both mentioned that.
So I think I'm going to put the pink border in here. So the border is really, really thin. So you will want to use a craft pick or something of that nature just to get it started. And the other thing that I would say that's really kind of important is just pull really carefully, because if you pull too hard, you can almost distort the shape and then it doesn't fit.
So you have to be gentle.
Yes, you just want to pull a little bit carefully. And so now I've got the border of the X, and you want to put the border in first.
Looks like you just match it on one end.
Just match it on one end, just get it started. Once you get it started, then you're generally home free. But you want to put the border in first. See how easily that popped in?
Yes, it went in very easy.
So then what you would do is you would take your letter, and let's say I want to use the white letter, and I would just pop that in. And I believe I put the sticky on the back of the white letter as well.
And so she's using the alphanumeric bulletin font from Tim Holtz. It's a 2-inch font. It's $40.99. We showed it a little earlier, but in case you missed it, it's got the numbers, the punctuation, and the letters, and it's got those little skinny little border that Janet showed us, and then it also has the inside of the letters.
So now we've got the sticky on the back of the X, and we're just going to pop it in, and it just fits right inside that border.
Nice.
So isn't that cool?
Yes, that's really neat.
It's totally flat, totally flat. Now for the O, we should have the same outline. How are we doing time-wise, Kelly?
I think we're good.
Okay.
It's 10:25, but no one has left, so I
We're
think they want you to keep going.
All right. Well, I've got a few more things to share. And I apologize. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get this going here.
Well, do you have your crafting glasses
I
on,
do
or
have
your
my crafting glasses on? But sometimes it can be hard to start these. especially when,
Well, while you're getting your backing taken off of that, I'm going to show everybody the wonderful sheet that you made, the handout, which we're not we're handing it out virtually.
right.
So Janet has typed up, this is in true Janet style, but she's typed up all the directions and things that you need to know to do the inlays, and she will have all of this on the blog, and we'll have
Yes.
pictures on the blog, and it's going to be really good.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so now
Well, we're
we've
all
got-
when everybody's watching, that makes it
Oh,
hard
jeepers.
too.
Yeah, so, okay, I've got the outline of the O, and I'm just gonna tuck this into
And no
the
one's
negative
actually showed us
space.
how to work this die before.
Well,
We've
that's
seen
what I was
projects with it,
thinking.
but no one's actually put it together.
So that's what I was thinking. Even though it's a little fiddly, I will just go ahead and show you. So now you put the outline in first, and now I've die cut the O from a different color. The letters are easier to do than the outlines because they're a little bit larger. And now you're going to pop in.
Well, and I
the
like your
letter.
idea of having a craft pick or some tweezers or something to help with it.
Exactly. Now here's where you might not realize that there's a second piece.
Oh, yeah.
So the outline, the interior outline of the O has a second.
And
little
we're going to
piece.
ask Penny, we've got a question about your craft pick.
Uh-huh.
Penny, could you get us a craft pick? Pretty please. Penny,
New one or one to use?
a new one.
Okay.
So we are going to get the craft pick so people can see what it is. So really then the O has 4 pieces.
Right, right. So it has
Ooh.
another interior piece here that goes in the center. You could probably leave that out, but it does have this extra little piece too.
Yeah, it looks okay the way it is,
Yeah.
but let's see what it looks like with it.
I'm not going to worry about peeling it off, but that's how it would look popped in the hole.
Oh, I like it.
So if I hadn't done this crooked, that would be better, but you kind of get the idea where this is a die cut, an inlay within an inlay, which is kind of fun. So I have enough pieces now to make this same card
Perfect.
again. Thanks, Penny.
We're laughing because Penny's handing me these and I can't pick them up with one hand. So that's the one you're
Yep.
using, the retractable.
Yeah, and the retractable feature is really good. If you leave things on the floor, your husband or cat won't step on
So
them.
the tip goes in. This one's $6.49. It's from, well, I guess they're both from Tim Holtz, but this one's from Tonic, Tim Holtz and Tonic. Debbie says she can't work without a craft pick, and she has several because she keeps losing them. And then this one is from Sizzix, and they call this a die pick, but it is the same type of thing. And it's funny, it says for use with Sizzix dies, but you can use it with a lot of the dies and a lot of things. And I guess that is a Sizzix die.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got it all, it's all perfect.
It's super, super helpful.
And this one is $5.99. It has a cap, but it doesn't retract. So if you want retractable or one with a cap, there you go.
So again, once you do this technique, you're going to end up with basically another set. So I could make another
sure.
card without even doing the inlay. I've got the pieces that I need to add.
Just
this to the
attach it
card.
on top
Right,
if you want.
Right.
That's kind of the cool part. You get 2 for 1.
And what's great is then, since you've got a completely flat background, you can just pop up your greeting like so. And that could just go over the top of it, which I think is really fun. So you can always add a popped up element.
I like that on top of those big letters.
So
That is really neat.
So there you
and
go.
that's what Janet did over here too. She did the BFF for Best Friends Forever and then put the You're My on top of those big letters. And they're big enough that you can do that and you still can read the letters and you can still see the message.
Exactly.
And here's where she got You're My. You make the world a better place, be my Galentine. This is her Galentine Day sentiments, and it is printed on white cardstock, and it's $2.99, and those are available online or here in the store. Ooh, what's next? Rainbow time?
So Kelly, yes, I thought I would share another way to make a rainbow because if you've got circle dies, which a lot of us do have the concentric circle dies, you can make a rainbow.
Yeah.
And I made a rainbow last time I was here, and it was out of the same die set. This is an inlay rainbow. So with this particular one, I just die cut a hole out of the wood paper, and then I pieced together the different rings of the circle dies to make a rainbow. And I thought I would show
Perfect.
you how to do that same thing with oval dies. So I've done the die cutting, and I just wanted to show you how to tape your dies together. So if you've got oval dies, circle dies, you're just going to place them so that they're equally spaced, and then just run a piece of washi tape across them. And then you'll just run these through your die cutting machine. And what
Perfect.
you'll get is
Look at all, and
these
pretty
rings.
colors of the
Yeah.
color vibe from Simple Stories.
right. So you'll get these rings, and you will do
Look
it.
at all the rings.
Yeah, how many rainbows can I make?
A lot.
A lot of rainbows. So you'll run it through one time for every color that you want on your rainbow. And so I have 5 different colors, so I ran it through 5 times. So I can make a lot of rainbows, right?
And and I want to mention that we're celebrating Color Vibe in February. So we're going to see a lot more of the Color Vibe paper, the buttons, the flowers, the chipboard, the washi tape, and the enamel dots.
Right.
And the alphabet letters. So there's a lot going on.
I love Color Vibe. So this is totally made from Color Vibe. So what I did then is I figured out where I want my rainbow to end up on my card, and I just die cut the largest circle out of that. And this is my card front. This is the negative piece.
Okay.
So like I did before, Kelly, I'm just
Oh,
gonna,
we're going to do the whole thing?
Yep, I'm just gonna add this to the front of my, actually I'm gonna add it to a card front like this. So I'm gonna
So
add
on a separate piece of paper.
separate piece, and yeah, you'll see why in just a second. So I'm just putting my adhesive, and this is repositionable adhesive, over the top of this. And then I'm just going to add my piece with the hole, my negative piece. And now I've got all the adhesive that I need to.
Janet, I would just
Fill
like
this
to
in.
come and be in your craft room and watch you figure out all this stuff.
Kelly, sometimes it's kind of a process. I do
I'm
make
glad.
a mess. I make a mess, I will tell you that much. So now I'm just going to piece together the different colors that I cut earlier.
And it looks like you are going in the Roy G. Biv.
Of course, Kelly, I have to.
I agree.
And like so. And you'll know if they're not quite situated because you'll see a little gap. You want to try to have as few gaps as possible. And like there. So now it doesn't really look like a rainbow.
No, but it still would be kind of fun.
Yeah, so that's a cool background.
Yeah.
It's totally inlaid. I made a mark here at the bottom of my card, so I'm actually just going to cut this part off so that it looks like a rainbow.
So you're not cutting it in half.
I'm not
I thought
cutting
you
it in
might cut it in
half.
half.
Well, the reason I'm not cutting it quite in half is I discovered that it looks a little thin when you cut it in half.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut it a little below half. And I want to cut just a little bit more off than that. So you might be able to
So if you cut it and you need more, you just cut more off.
Right. So I still think I need to take a little bit more off. You want to cut
So she's cutting it so it's got more of a flat bottom and not
Right.
curving in. That looks
Right.
pretty good.
Okay. So what I thought we would do then is add this piece at the bottom.
Oh,
So we'll
sure.
just glue this here. Stay with me, Kelly, and I will.
We're
get
here.
this.
We're
I
here.
will make this look like
Wendy
a
Jean
rainbow.
said your original rainbow, before it was a rainbow, would be a cute, like, little rug.
Oh, definitely.
She said it for a kitty image. So Wendy Jean, thank you. I love
Love these ideas.
love all the ideas. We don't always see them, or sometimes I start watching Janet and I quit reading comments. But and sometimes they come in later and we can't help it if we miss them.
So my idea here, Kelly, was to cut off the front of the card just a little bit so that I could make it look a little bit more like a rainbow. I'm going to leave a little bit of white showing. And then I've got my Galentine wishes, which I've pre-pop dotted. And we'll put this on here. And then I've got some little
Oh, and she's got some hearts.
Got some little hearts that we're going to put on, and hopefully it will look like a rainbow.
Will you make that look easy? The hearts, speaking of hearts, Janet, people are loving it.
Oh, great. So I thought we would just put the little hearts at the end of the rainbow. Isn't that how they're supposed to go?
I think so.
At the end of the rainbow. And you've got a little Valentine card or Galentine card. Isn't that fun?
Very cute. Yes, that's very cute. Very colorful and cheerful.
So if you have circles or if you have ovals, you can make a rainbow. And I know that you can sometimes find rainbow dies, but I think you can.
And if you don't have one, you're all set.
Right.
It's very much set.
A lot of us do have circle and oval dies, so get them out and try to make a rainbow. Okay, I've got.
Do you have more, Janet?
I do have a couple more things.
Okay.
And these won't take long at all.
Okay.
So I wanted to just share, if you are going to use a die like this, which is the wreath die.
That's the funky wreath. It's a
When-
classic.
yes.
I think everyone that works here probably has one.
When you cut this out, you're going to get interior pieces. So you will just want to hang on to those interior pieces so that when you piece it back together, you can fill in all the little spots. And I do have a card over here that I made using this particular die. It's a little more
So it's
intricate.
doable. It's doable, but it just might take a little more. Well, you got to figure out.
Right, where
it goes.
does it go? I am not going to actually do this for you, but I just wanted to show how it
that's
does
great.
fit together. So here I have a blue background, and then I've got a white wreath, so you can see. And then I would just take the blue interior and pop it right in, like so. And then there are some larger pieces that come out that you would just save.
Here we go. We're doing
And then,
puzzles again.
And then pop those in. So it's as simple as that. You would just pop in those additional
So you put like
pieces.
on this one, you would put those white pieces back in because you cut it out of that,
Right.
and then it's going to make it more. You're going to see all the branches of your image or your wreath, and I can see why Janet earlier mentioned that this one would probably be not the best one to do. You see all those little tiny gaps there, and if somebody's got it and takes the challenge, post a picture. We'd love to see it. And she did say that these don't have any, I guess you call them interior pieces, so these bunnies would be a really nice one to do if you missed out. And she talked about some of the flowers. This is Funky Floral number 3. It would be neat to do the flowers, or those new flowers.
You can see that the wreath is actually relatively easy to do. I didn't bring all the interior pieces because that would be crazy, but this is one of the larger pieces. It just pops right in. You just want to hang on to those smaller pieces and then just use your tweezers to pop them in. So that was my suggestion, is just look through the dies that you have and see which ones
give it a try today.
might be fun to use for this technique. So that is the Funky Wreath die, and it's a good one that I think a lot of us have.
I think so too. It's a good background, or you can even cut it in half. You can use it for the letter O. We did a Halloween layout once, and we used the funky wreath. We did the word boo, and we actually used the funky wreath for our O's.
Oh,
it sounds
neat.
weird, but it looked pretty cool.
I bet it did. Yeah, I think it's a die that can be used any time of year. So I wanted to show one more technique, and this is using 2 dies to cut a shape out of. So here I took a scalloped circle and a stitched circle, and I glued them together. And then I used my silhouette bird dies to cut out.
So are they
piece.
inlay? Your circle and your scallop are inlaid together, or are they on top of each other?
They're on top of each
on
other.
top, okay.
So you could do it inlay, but they're on top of each other. So I thought I would do the same
Oh,
thing.
I think we would love to see this.
This is the bunny die, which I absolutely love this. He looks like an old-fashioned velveteen rabbit.
He does.
So what I've done here is I just die cut a stitched circle and then just a regular heart, and I glued them together so they're not inlay. So with this die, you get an outline which is slightly bigger than Mr. Bunny himself. So Mr. Bunny fits in here like this. So the piece that you want to cut out for your inlay is the biggest piece on the bottom. And this is what he looks like
Oh, he's so cute.
My husband saw this morning and he said, well, he looks like Casper, the friendly bunny, because he's very white. You could make him
white?
chocolate. Let's just run this through.
Yeah, let's see it. I'm really
see how it
interested in
looks.
this. I think a lot of people want to see this.
I'm calling this layered inlay. I just
Layered
totally,
inlay. So
I
we've
just-
done inlay, and now we're doing layered inlay.
totally made this up, Kelly. So I'm going to run it through a couple of times just to see how this looks. And I'm going to have some interior pieces that I need to hang on to. See, we've got
you are?
this piece.
Oh, okay. I see what you're
Right.
saying.
And then we've got this piece here.
Don't
There's-
throw away your little pieces until you're done,
Right.
in case you need them.
Right. So there's another piece. I need to keep my wits about me, Kelly. And then I'm going to very carefully take this washi tape off. There we go. So this comes apart in
Again,
two
this looks
pieces.
like something I would throw away, Janet. I'm
It
sorry to
kind of
say it, but it does.
Okay, so we're going to make this into a card, Kelly.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got my card base done. And the first thing that I want to do is adhere this piece to the front.
You've shown us lots of different ways to do the inlay, Janet, and thank you. I really appreciate that. And I think everyone watching appreciates it too, because
Well,
we're
you're
learning so many
welcome.
different things.
Okay, so what we've done is we put down the biggest piece first. And I want this piece to be centered. And now we've got Mr. Bunny, and I pre-cut him and I assembled him. So this is the big piece is glued underneath the
And the bunny's
smaller
nice. He's only two pieces. He's a background and a top ground.
So, right, and so I don't know if you can see, but there are holes in here. And his eyes and other details are open, so whatever color you put in the background shows through. So you don't have to worry about piecing in those eyes. So
Oh
do you
gosh,
see how
that's
this
cute
fits?
already. Oh my gosh, yes.
Isn't that fun? So I'm just going to put adhesive on Mr. Bunny, and he's just going to pop right in this hole like this, and he just fits
It is
perfectly
fun
in
how
there.
things fit back together, isn't it?
Yeah, now look at this. And what I'm realizing, I don't need this piece. Kind of have to think about it, Kelly.
Yeah, even Janet the pro.
Well, I don't know. Now we've got this circle piece, right, that we need to put in. So this piece is a duplicate of this, so we don't need this. But we do need this other little piece. So this goes right in here, just to complete that circle. And now
Right.
there's
Oh,
this
and you need the little
piece
tip of his, between his ears.
between his ears.
Oh my gosh, Jennifer said this would make a gorgeous new baby card. Oh, it
Oh,
would.
fun.
I never thought about using the bunny for a baby card.
It would, and this whole collection would
Yes.
be great.
Oh my gosh, because it does have neutral colors. You've got kind of the teal. You can do the pink, but it also has your neutral. You can do blues and pinks and things. Oh yes, that bunny
Isn't
would
he
be
cute?
adorable for a baby
And I
card.
do think, to my husband's point, he would be cute out of brown. Then
Oh,
he would be
sure,
chocolate.
yeah.
He could be a chocolate bunny. So I am using Bestie, which is from my text sheet. And then I'm going to add in these two little hearts.
Oh, and Wendy Jean, she brought it up to the Chinese New Year.
Oh, yeah, that would be
So
great for this.
that's perfect. I wonder if Tim planned that.
You have to wonder if he did.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So now we have a
And you
card.
popped up a heart. Oh my
Isn't
gosh.
that cute?
Yes.
I love that bunny. I think he works really well for this technique. And what's kind of fun here is I made the card a little bit smaller so that his ear could stick off the top.
So you have to plan ahead for
Yeah.
that.
So
But I do like that a lot, Janet. That's so darn cute.
if you have the bunny die or if you have the silhouette bird die, try this technique. So I did the same thing for the silhouette bird die, and I'll have to tell you, I lost a piece. There should have been a piece right in there
Oh,
between
his
his
tail
feathers. So hang on to all your pieces and pop them back in.
I don't think you're going to notice that. I think it's going to be
no.
okay.
But it does make a difference when you fill in those little pieces. So I think that's all I have for everybody
Is
today.
that all,
I
Janet?
think that's the end of the show
Well,
today, Kelly.
and Jennifer says now she loves the bunny. She loves it now that you made it up so beautifully.
Oh, the bunny
so
is adorable. He just reminds me of the old-fashioned bunnies from
everything
storybooks.
is so
Yeah.
cute, Janet. You
Well,
did such a
thank
nice
you.
job. I just want to
Thank
come over
you.
here and show her cards again with the inlays, and we'll have all of this will be on the blog, and it'll be really extra special because Janet is our blogger. She's the one that keeps our blog up and posts everything from our daily videos. So it's a great resource. If you're looking for something, go to our blog, type in a person's name or a technique or a product line, and it will pop up.
There are categories over to the right, so you can just select a category. If you want to make tags, just select the tag category and you'll see everything that we've got posted for tags.
And I think a lot of people are going to be trying this.
I hope so. Just look at your dies, see which ones that you have that might work for this technique, and I think you will be really pleased at how easy it is to do.
Well, Janet, thank you for another amazing morning, and I hope everyone has a crafty day. Try the inlay. If you try it, post your photos here in the comments so all of us can see it. We would love that.
That would be so fun.
And if you have any questions, give us a call. If you're out and about, stop in. And Katie's got our schedule here, so tomorrow we know that Chris is going to be here, and she's doing Valentine cards, and she made a little mailbox that everyone's going to love. It's perfect for little chocolates or treats.
Adorable.
And she always makes things easy. Things that you look at that look like they're going to be difficult. Chris will be here, and she's going to show us how to do it. And then on Friday, Diane's here with the new 49 and Market album kit that's made with Tranquility. So everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow.